Hello, big beautiful world. Today, if we're lucky, or if you're lucky, I'm very fortunate, I've got this. If you're lucky, we'll do a twofer. We're doing this, and what is this? This is the DH100, this is the Vampire from 42, or realistically 46 when it started seeing entry, but it flew in 42 or early 43. This is Hatfield, where it first flew out of, up in Hertfordshire. And I, with my naturally conflict averse and non-critical way of looking at things, will probably give you some feedback as we take her up in the air. The first thing I did, learning about it from the manual, was give myself the Jeep APU, the auxiliary power unit, and a second point on the hat switch, which actually activates. So you've got to toggle the APU into existence and then toggle the APU on. And that's good. So we've got a green light now. Give ourselves some grunts. Yep, make sure we got the power. You can't actually see the cutoff switch, so you pull the throttle forward, run that forward, and then you see her over the back. Give ourselves the main power unit, and as you can see, it's highly oversimplified. And hold this down for 2 minutes, 2 seconds, 2 minutes. Crazy kid. As she cycles up. Now, one of the things that strikes me as extremely incongruous is how battered and shabby and scarfed the interior looks, and how immaculate the outside looks. So we're just going to move. This is going to get loud, peeps, but this is one thing I do love. That aggress, oh, I might have missed it, but that would shut the cockpit. We shut the canopy just to quieter it down a bit. So yeah, it gets pretty loud. So these strakes, not so keen on. They're probably realistic combat strakes or marker strakes of some kind. But all that being said, the Swiss team, I believe it's the Swiss team who put this together. Let's get rid of the APU, yeah? The Swiss team who put this together, or the team who put this together. I don't know if it's ported from FSX or X-Plane, but they've done a great job. It's a labour of love, and right down to some of the idiosyncrasies, like this aircraft really did trial the limits of compressibility way back when, around the time that Chuck Yeager was doing it, prior to that actually. So Chuck Yeager was just insane enough to press that little bit harder and get past the compressibility envelope to push a straight-winged aircraft past the speed of sound. So yeah, Hatfield, let's get her up in the air, let's do a circuit and see what I think. Right, so okay, so there's that screech, hate it. It might be realistic. I've got an X56 and the old Cytec rudder pedals, and with this aircraft you have to be deeply sensitive about how you use this. Very sensitive on the rudder pedals. It's pretty wild. Cut across here on the grass. The Booker Youngman back there, we'll pretend that was a DH82. We'll pretend that was an old Havilland Tiger Moth. Which first, see what I mean about rudder overcorrect? Yeah, very strange. So we're just torching the grass behind us as we go. Now, of course, once you drain all the life out of this puppy, your spoilers deploy, as do your flaps. So I'm bringing the spoilers up, pulling the spoilers in, bringing the flaps up. I feel a little bit ashamed that I haven't used Hatfield more often for the more traditional aircraft. think that's our puppy right here. Is it? Hang on. Come over a bit more. There we are. Alright. So, we've got her out at Havilland. We're going to bring her in right about now. I can't believe it feels really cool to take off to understand the iconic nature of some of these, not the aircraft, but the airfields themselves. It's a really sweet sensation. Alright. There we go. We'll give it full throttle. Hopefully keep her on the track. The stick itself tends to be a little oversensitive. And she wants to hug the earth for quite a while. So undercarriage up. And if you take it too close to the limit straight off, she is really unforgiving. Really unforgiving. I'm still getting used to finding out, you know, across the threshold you're looking at about, I think, 113 or something, bringing her in to touchdown, you're looking at your late 80s, so, you know, at 90 knots thereabouts, 88 knots. That being said, I have made some seriously crap landings, and I've done some flawless landings, so I've been kind of, yeah, this beastie demands your attention, whether it's the foibles or the limitations of flight sim itself, perhaps some things that they're working on from the developers, or whether it's my own shabby piloting, which of course is always there. That last one is a constant. But yeah, it certainly keeps you on your toes. In fact, I've tried to post about 4 or 5 posts that failed, and I realised, oh, maybe the fates are telling me something. Maybe I should really just focus on learning to fly the bloody thing instead of taking it for granted. So in that respect, keeping it out of the red is vital. Whether it's above the zone or below the zone is entirely at your discretion. But it is gentle. It's interesting to pitch if you're out of the zone. Very unforgiving if you... In fact, we're going to come in under. We're going to give it some flaps and bring it down. So, very gentle, all things considered, but you've got to be guarded about what speed you're living off and how many RPM you're putting through. I find myself looking more at the RPM than I do at the speeds. Your VSI, yeah, so you can see that you're kind of riding the old Halford, the engine itself, because it's you think you're on the threshold and you're not, so you shouldn't get too far away. You should just try and get back into pattern of some kind, bring it down. Yeah, it certainly keeps me on my toes, and in that respect I like it. The only thing I think is, at this point, it's overpriced compared to, say, for me, the Twin Navion, or everyone, as you know, we all famously cite the Boeing 247D, which is a work of art. I think there's room on this one though to really bring this sucker to life, and we'll start seeing stuff up on TO eventually, I guess. But that'll be a bit of wait and see. I'm guessing we want to bring it down here, don't we? So I'm going to get the undercarriage down. And hopefully we can put her down in a way that she won't rebel, which would be very nice indeed. Come on, little vampire, do it. Alright. Like I said, it's like the choppers, I guess. It actually demands a good deal of attention, which, in the sense of that pioneering spirit, it is terrific. But it's also terrifying. So you get 8 liveries all up, 4 of these early ones and 4 of the long noses. That's hella fast. Hella fast. You know what? I'm going to... Yeah, no, that's really, really shabby. Ah! No. Thanks for that. You know what? I might post that. I think I can run with that. That's hilarious. Okay, so as you can see, yeah, getting her down. I've got a lot of work to do, people. Alright, big, beautiful world. See you in the next one. Hello again, big, beautiful world. And now this. The Bell X-1A. What can we say about it? Well, in my traditionally conflict-averse and my nature and my complete absence of to be able to be a critical thinker, I think it's quite cartoony. I like it. It's shiny. It would approximate what I'd expect to see in the real beastie way back in 1953. And don't forget, this is the X-1A, not the X-1. So, to that effect, quite cartoony, but strangely in a very appealing way. So now we get to some of the nuts and bolts. One of the weird things is, okay, give ourselves some battery. That's it, battery and start. It strikes me as weird. Crack the throttle a bit. I think that's enough to do it. That is, I'm guessing, not realistic. That being said, we'll take her up. So as you can see, it's got that whole FSXE explainy thing happening around it all. The price point is the only thing that I'm kind of a little bit piddly about. In the great tradition of piddling and moaning about everything. Yeah, it's... Okay, so we didn't feel the love there first time around. We've given it the battery. Taking it through it, crack the throttle a bit more, eh? What's happened? Now, all of these things, you would have expected you'd have your locks open or your fuel open or whatever. But, no, not really. Don't know what 1, 2, 3 and 4 are. No. I imagine that's for comms. Not sure, not too sure. Your inverter's down there. Oh, you might have to, because your starter, sorry, your igniter is on in the on position. So I'm going to try this. Off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's see if that kicks in. Look, I didn't read the manual, I'll be honest, but I think that gives us what we need. Yeah, so you might have to knock your inverter on and off. If we see movement up in the chamber, we know we're on a win. And we see movement up in the chamber. There we go. So knock your inverter on and off, hit your start button, Crack your throttle. I don't even know if you need to crack your throttle a bit, to be honest. Don't worry about that silence, because here we go. 3, 2, 1. Kicks in. There you go. Comes up to the green, which we love. We love. You see the other chamber's already on green. You know, a bit over in the danger zone technically, but that's okay. Shut me up. Let's get a bit of pushback. And not you kooky thing. No. There we go. Come off the handy. And no Tom and Terry in sight. I love the old acrobatic dancing Booker Youngmans. We'll pull up there. Come off the pushback. Britain Normanda. We're taking off out of Edwards, where this thing flew in 53. Where all the greats flew. The XP79, the Northrop XP79, look it up. The XP55 Ascender, look it up. The Scoos from Volti, look it up. The Northrop Black Bullet, look it up. The X1, the YB35, XB35, look it up from Northrop. I'm a sucker for Jack Northrop's aircraft, by the way. They all flew out of Muroc when it was just a Salt Lake. I think, I'm not sure when it got concreted over, but all the greats flew out of here. So many great aircraft that redefined the world of aeronautics and aviation today. So we'll again, in the highly uncharacteristic, you know, you can treat this with a bit of cartooning. Yeah, look, my only gripe, really, will I fly it again? Hell yeah. It gets you from A to B extremely quickly, and that's kind of cool. But it is overpriced, I think, for what you're getting. That being said, let's get her up there, see what we think about it. You'll see that it does get along at a fair clip. Doesn't have near the sensitivity on the ground that the de Havilland does, but you know, that's okay, that's alright. Again, it should be, yeah, the de Havilland has literally no rudder authority when it's on the ground until you get a fair pace up, but this is rudder, so you don't have to sit on the brakes the way you do the de Havilland Vampire. If you haven't checked that video out, well, it'll be on a twofer on this one, so if you're watching one, you're watching the other. But I won't poodle about running all the way up to the end of the runway. We're just going to take a half stretch. This thing was a very powerful beastie anyway, so. Now I've had periodically little weird things like the undercarriage not coming up. I'm pretty sure I didn't break the undercarriage, but yeah, you know what, this will do fine. This will do fine. Make sure flaps are up. We're just going to hopefully get back on the center line. Hit 100. And we're off. Come out. There we go. Good. Got the undercarriage up. Don't think we need some flaps. So that wobbliness, the porpoise, gentle porpoising, that's most likely the FS Realistic Pro that I love so much. Probably one of my favourite add-ons so far in SimWorld. So as you can see, we've got a fair whack of clip and climb on her. Bit of a slug, but you know, on the roll that is, but certainly not on the pitch and speed. Pump out that pressure. Really, I do feel obliged to work. I feel bad for not hitting half of these bloody switches, to be honest. Let's do it. Let's pop them all and see what happens, shall we? locks. We don't want a vent, do we? I don't think we want a vent. Anyway, they're all up now. So if you want, you know, a Sunday driver to take you great distances, I'm not sure what the range on this puppy is like, at great speed, well, there's no doubting how fast this bloody thing is. It is the one that Chuck Yeager took to over Mach 2 in 1953. I think there were about, there was the A, B, C, well there was the original X1, X-1A, X-1B, X-1C, X-1D, X-1E, I think from memory. That's obviously a fair whack of longevity over a 10-year period or more. So yeah, quite a, you know, an historical beast. What have we got there? No, oh, okay, so the hat settings for my views don't get me anywhere. They allow me to look at the bum, I think. There we go. What am I looking at there? Am I looking at the nose or the bum of this thing? I'm guessing the bum. Yeah, okay. Pretty arcade-like, frankly, all round. So hopefully, why have you got? Why, Delilah? Why are you showing the aileron up? I have no idea, people. Alright, we're just going to go flatten that, see what happens here. Annoy the little town. Is it the town of Muroc outside Edwards Air Force Base, or I don't know. Either way, we're about to annoy him, and that's all that counts. So acceleration units. Okay, so we're flying in knots. Gold. 400 knots. And the other thing about Chuck Yeager's flight in this thing that day was that it was on the straight and level. It wasn't in a shallow dive. It wasn't doing anything. It was on the straight and level, and it clocked in at around Mach 2. So what's that? 1400 k an hour. So over 1,000 miles an hour. Pretty blinking good. Look, I won't push the envelope. It's boring. It's boring in my hands. Probably exciting in another pilot. Cut back off the flight. It gets you up. It flies. It's cute. It's cute. There we go. That's FS realistic kicking in. If I'd have passengers. We'll pretend that's stowaways over near the liquid oxygen units, little realising what they were in for when they hopped on board, so you could hear them screaming in the background. Serves them bloody right for hopping on board. So let us try and get some speed down, shall we? And we'll get it back there. We're just going to try and gently bring her back. Yeah, we don't have the magic white ribbon, so I'm not sure. Do we even? We've probably got spoilers. Going to throw the spoilers on. Try and give ourselves a bit of a speed drop fairly rapidly. There it is, down there. Okay, sounds to me like we've got spoilers. Let's hop out and have a squeeze. Yeah, so as you can see, no egress, nothing coming out of the ports, the aileron stuck in an up position, nothing reflecting the speed brake. Yeah, definitely definitely one for the cheap seats, I think. One to watch out for on sale. If you're keen to have it at all, then that's fine. Okay, we're going to throw in some flaps. Going to bring down the undercarriage, see if it comes down nicely. Interesting. Interesting. In that way that so many things are kind of only sort of vaguely interesting. So, I want to watch. Is there a limiter on the undercarriage coming down? Got more flaps. Okay. Okay, that's kind of interesting, but not. Alright. Don't know what's going on there. But there you go. That's, look, I don't mind calling this short, to be honest. I don't know if it's, yeah, now I've got a challenge though, haven't I? I mean, I'd love to bring it in on the Big Salt Lake. But technically this puppy would have landed on. So we're at 100 knots. And I'm still not getting an undercarriage. So that's a G for gear. Not altitude. But no, it just feels like everything's given up on me. Still see chamber reaction, and that's about it. Gang, if you're still with me, we're going to bring this puppy in. Some flaps. It would appear either the animations for undercarriage aren't working. We are not. Getting any undercarriage, so it's going to be a little bit interesting. We'll just take it as it is and see what we've got. We'll hold it around 100. See if we can get it down without causing myself too much heartache. But yeah, no matter what I do, it's not getting the undercarriage down, as you can see. So, interesting and interesting. Surely we'd be at the very limit of what this thing would need to bring her down. So I'm just going to try and plonk her down. I don't have the anti-collision on, so most likely we'll get a stack. I've not got this on any other puppies, so I'm not sure what the GO is here. I'm not sure why it's behaving this way. But look, you know, we've, you can make up your own minds about whether you like it or not. If this is the end, old friend, so be it. I have a feeling. Well, no, there we go. So there's 2 crashes in a row, gang. I'd like to think that one wasn't caused by me. Thank you very much. So that concludes our tour for the day, gang. Stay safe, stay sane, and I'll catch you later. Bye.